Hey all my future buyers and sellers out there, I am here to teach you more than you knew before about the real estate process. And today we're tackling that mysterious, mythical beast that is a mortgage. Now the word mortgage, I'm sure you've heard 1,000 times and you're pretty confident that you know what it means. But if I put you on the spot right now to define it, you think you might stutter a little bit? Well, have no fear, because I am here to deliver you with that refresher course you're in need of if you're in the process of buying a house or just generally curious about how real estate works. So sit back and let the learning begin. Hey, it's Ella with Ella Estate Realty, and welcome back to my channel where I give you all the tips, hints, and hacks you can handle about real estate. Feel free to stay a while, binge a little, and definitely hit that subscribe button. If that doesn't work, then just leave me some instant feedback with some love with some likes. As for today's topic, we are going over the word mortgage, what it means, what's included in it, and all that fun real estate vocabulary that's associated with it. So let's start out with the definition. Let me read it real quick. It's a noun, a legal agreement by which a bank or other creditor lends money at interest in exchange for taking title of the debtor's property, with the condition that the conveyance of title becomes void upon the payment of the debt. I don't know about you, but kind of sounded like a lot of legal jargon. Let's break it down into layman's terms. To put a mortgage in the simplest terms possible, it is a loan secured by real estate. And to explain that even more, I'm going to hit you with some examples. So generally when we think of loans, we have personal loans like credit cards and student loans. I'm thinking most of the audience has loaned something in their life, even a scooter. So when you're loaning something, you generally don't have it secured, meaning you're not planning on taking something in exchange for it. You know, you don't have collateral. With student loans, they're not planning on taking your education back. With credit cards, they're not planning taking your Amazon purchases or your binge in the middle of the night. They charge you an upfront fee that's higher instead because it's a higher risk. That's why credit cards have such high interest rates. As for a mortgage, the difference is that when you sign your mortgage, this legal document, you're saying that if you default or don't make the regulations that have been laid out in the agreement, you will forfeit your house. So the bank has full rights to take back the house, foreclosure, and resell it to try to make their money back. And then lastly, the last piece of a mortgage is that you're agreeing to make payments of principal and interest for the term that's agreed upon. So breaking down those words even more, we have principal, that is the original borrowing amount. So say you're shopping for a $100,000 house and you're not putting any money down, you need to borrow $100,000. Now how the bank makes their money back is the interest. That's the fee that they charge to borrow the money, usually in an annual fee, usually around 4%. And then we have the last term, which is term. It's how long a mortgage is agreed upon. So generally 15 to 30 years. So once you agree that you'll give the house back if you don't make your payments, agree that you'll make your payments that are both principal and interest for the term of the loan, then we get into the things that are included in a loan that are added on. So those 5 components of a mortgage would be principal, like we already talked about, the original amount that you're borrowing, interest, the fee that's charged to borrow the money. Then we have insurance, just like when you go to get a car and you take out a loan, you have to have a certain amount of insurance to make sure that their collateral is safe. And then we have taxes, of course, property taxes, government wants their piece. And then we have the last one, it depends on how much your down payment is and what loan you go about getting, but usually there is mortgage insurance too if you pay below 20% and you're in that FHA or conventional loan category. So I'm going to be covering all 5 of those, and that's what makes up the bulk of the mortgage. Now that we've gone over principal and interest, it's on to insurance. Now, When you get a loan, generally, even a car loan, they make you get it. It comes out of your pocket. They want you to protect their investment and yours. By getting it, you're saying if anything was to happen, it would be fully protected. So it's usually a standard. Depending on the coverage, that depends on the specific loan that you take out and what they're asking you to do. You could have additional fire or flood or earthquake insurance. That depends, look into it. I will say that you should definitely, just like everything else, get 3 opinions, shop around, see if you could be bundling all your insurances together and know what is covered. So just in case anything was to happen to your house, you know exactly what to expect. And if you add any value-adding renovations or really expensive things in your house, make sure that's all documented with your insurance agent too, so that you're fully covered if any accidents were to happen, because after all, that's why you're paying the premium. And just like that, you can't get away without having insurance, so you're just gonna have to bite the bullet on this one. This can be rolled into your mortgage, which is what I'm talking about, or it could be paid out of pocket monthly, every 6 months or annually. That's up to you, so just know the difference. Of course, everybody's favorite topic, we have taxes, property taxes to be specific. Just like insurance, this can possibly be rolled into your mortgage or you can pay it. It's generally due twice a year in April and October, paid out of pocket, and it's assessed on the amount that your property is worth. The person that gives you this number is your tax assessor, telling you about this whenever you do property adding renovations. Generally, they don't know about it until you go to sell your house. So this number can definitely fluctuate depending on the year, depending on the market, and depending on what you do to your house. So it's not a standard number. This might reflect in your mortgage fluctuating too. And last, we have mortgage insurance. This is a variable that's not applied to everyone, but it is applied to a lot of people, so I'm gonna mention it just the same. We have private mortgage insurance, which is on conventional loans, and insurance mortgage premium that is on FHA loans. Those two things, they're the same things. There's, different verbiage for different loans, but it is to take on the additional risk that you bring to them that you might not pay your mortgage. So it's an additional fee that they charge over the life of your mortgage that's added on. And the only way to get away from this is bringing more down payment, so you're less of a risk. So 20% or more, you don't get hit with the mortgage insurance, but when you're less, you do get hit with that, and it's the life of the loan, like I said. So this is a variable one that's not applied to every single loan, but the majority of people do end up having it. And then an extra word that I wanted to go with that is fully associated with mortgage is amortization. It's a funky word, and I don't want you to get thrown off guard, but it just means the amount of time it takes you to pay off the entirety of the loan. So whether that's 15 years or 30 years, it's included with interest and principal. 15 years definitely comes with higher payments, but you'll end up paying less in interest compared to a 30-year loan, where you have lower payments. Maybe it's more affordable, but you'll end up paying a lot more in interest. To go and build off of that, if you were to make one extra payment every year, so 13 payments annually instead of 12, you could really see the difference in how much interest has accumulated over time on your loan. So I'll just hit you with some numbers. So for my example, we're looking at a mortgage that's $250,000 at a 4.5 interest rate. The standard amount of time, it would take you 30 years to pay that off, and you'd be making a monthly payment every month for the entirety of the year, 12 months altogether. Comparatively, what if you scraped together your extra pennies and didn't go to Starbucks and Seattle and saved your money, and you were able to make 13 payments a year, just one extra mortgage payment a year? Let's go over the numbers. So we got your $250,000 loan. If you were to make your 12 payments, it would take you 30 years to pay off, and you would pay a whopping $206,000 in interest. Compared to if you paid that extra 13th payment, you'd pay $176,000. It would take you a little over 25 years, and you'd save a whopping $35,000 in interest. I mean, are you gonna thank me in 30 years, or Do you want to do it now in the comments down below? Just telling you. So I'll just go ahead and hope that the next time somebody quizzes you about what a mortgage is, you know exactly the answer and you blow them away with your knowledge provided by your trusted real estate agent. If you have any more questions, just leave them down below, or if you already knew about the 13th payment method, let me know too. You can always reach me at my website, Ella Estate Realty. And as for today's video, I truly appreciate you watching. Please give me some love with some likes, and I'm Ella with Ella Estate Realty. I hope you're having a remarkable day.